Hi, my name is Saeed Aslam. I'm a resident of Harrison Ward in Wyndham Council. I'm here to have a conversation with you all. Now, this conversation is regarding the coming Wyndham elections. There are a few myths, few misunderstandings and misconceptions that I believe are wrong. I'm trying to clarify this. When we sit in the circles on weekends chatting about this, there are a lot of myths among friends and family. Quite a few people say politics is dirty. The other few say they're not interested in it. And the other few say that what would we achieve by voting, or what difference will it make, whoever is there in the council. Now, let me explain you the fundamentals. Australia has three different layers of public office. So basically we've got federal, then we have got state, then we have got local governance. Now everyone takes decisions in their different jurisdictions that they work in, and the impact that we have on our lives, directly or indirectly, varies at different levels. Now, federal's mostly responsible for defense, foreign affairs, immigration, and trade, and that sort of lines. Whereas state is concerned about health, education. It's to do with policing, law and order. And local governance is to do more about the day-to-day life that we live. Waste collection, waste disposal, public gardens around where our kids play, the cycling tracks for us, and the local mobility, transportation, infrastructure, and community centers that we use on weekends to give parties. Now, this is quite important. So let me clarify to you as voters, it's very essential that we participate in this exercise and have our say. Now, let me explain you the scenario that we are in. You know, we all might not share the same origins, but we do share the same problems on a day-to-day basis. We all might not speak the same language, but we aspire and dream the same dreams about what we need in our community council. And for me, the fundamental definition of a councillor is not about holding a public office. It's not about glitter or glamour or power. It's in fact comes with a lot of responsibility. And the most primary of that responsibility is basically to be a good listener. Try and understand, analyze, comprehend what do the people talk? What do they actually need? What are their sufferings? What are they intending, or what's their vision about the community on the ground level? So as a councillor, it's very essential for a person to be a very good listener. Now, I have not nominated yet, and I will not nominate unless and until I don't get your blessings. But the point that I'm trying to drive is, before I actually go and nominate, I need to understand, realize, analyze, and comprehend what is that exactly that you need from me. What do you want me to work on? And in pursuit of that, what I did is I built a survey. Now, this survey is essentially to understand what are the different problems that we all face. Now, let me say you about Wyndham Council. Wyndham Council is basically divided into three wards, okay? We've got Harrison Ward, we've got Sheffield, and then we've got Eramu. The total population of Wyndham Council is 290,000, approx, okay? And then we've got more than 160,000 voters. Now, Harrison's got 120,000 population, it's got more than 60,000 voters. In Sheffield, we have got roughly around 90,000 population. And then we have got, I think, roughly around 50,000 voters. We have got Eramu, which has around 70,000 population, I think, roughly around 45,000 voters, I guess. Yeah, that should be right, if I remember the numbers right. So, basically, the challenges faced by the people living in Harrison Ward might be quite different to the ones which faced by Eramu, or on the contrary with Sheffield. So I needed to understand what is that is of primary importance to each of the voters living in different areas, and what are those problems that can be, you know, that are required immediate attention, and we need to fix them as soon as possible. Well, what are those problems that we can put on the backbench and address them later? Okay. Now, in pursuit of this, what I did is I have researched extensively. I went to my whiteboard, sketched them, identified them, and I've identified 11 problems that I believe, or I think, are existing among us. Now, these are across the board, you know, whether you're from, irrespective of which ward you come from. So, while I was identifying these problems, I introspected deeply and I thought, how are these problems impacting an individual and how can we find solutions for them? So for each of the problem, I've broken down it into 5 stages. I understood what the current situation is. Then I tried to realize or make a stand. What do I believe about that particular situation or issue, and what is my take, or what will I do, or what I stand for? And at the same time, what are the strategies that I think will work based on my knowledge and my experience? And at the same time, I've sort of drawn a rough estimate or understanding of what is the expected result that we can expect if we all work together on those strategies, on those lines, based on your help. At the same time, I also am seeking help from residents in terms of understanding on subjects that which I might not have expertise on, while someone else is more experienced, more knowledgeable on that subject to help me. And I tried to build that an argument, and that argument was basically based on a data that I tried to retrieve from credible sources, so that the argument is supported by data, and that data is coming from a credible source. Now, if you believe that the approach that I have taken is making sense and it is worth giving it a shot, if you are concerned and if you want to make a difference, I would request you to please kindly spare some time and do that survey. Let me explain you a little bit about this survey, what's the whole rationale behind it and all that, okay? So the survey basically has 11 questions. We have had 11 questions in that. We have identified each of the issue. We are rated on a 1 to 5 star rating. If it's a 5 star, that's of your highest priority. If it's 1 star, that's of your lowest priority, okay? While I did that, I realized that I should give you the opportunity to speak up. Maybe there is something which I haven't considered or I forgot. So you can speak to me, you can write to me, okay, look, you've forgotten this, why don't you consider this? And if you have any suggestions, how can I improve, how can I make it better? So please let me know. And let me say it's not about me, it's about us. Like, how do we improve it? How do we make it more effective? And how do we find the most optimum solution? Now, if you like my approach, and if you think that I'm really working hard and I stand for what I stand, and if you believe that my approach, my attitude, my skill is right, please support me, stand with me. Write me a small word that will motivate me, increase my confidence, make me work harder for you. So the whole point is, I'm just trying to do the best in my abilities that I can. Please don't take this survey for granted. This survey is basically, over a time, going to be built as the Bible, as a guideline for me, written by Wyndham residents. That's what we need to work on. So if you are serious about voting and making a difference in your own individual capacity, please take this survey seriously and try to do it. And by doing this survey, we can get an accurate understanding of what are the priorities for different people. People living in Harrison have a different priority, whereas compared to people living in Iramo. And in this survey, we have one question. We don't want a lot of personal details. It's just a street name. So we are only interested in the street name, not in the address. Okay. The reason we had that is we want to boggle down deeper to understand more specific issues to that particular region. Okay, I hope I'm making sense. So please take this survey seriously, and I hope you will all spare some time to make a difference in your own individual capacities. Remember that a counselor is not about himself, it's about you people. You people make him what you want him to do. So here you go, you got someone who is willing to work for you. So rub him as hard as you can and make the difference in your own individual capacity. This survey is dynamic. So it's really dynamic in real world. We put a lot of effort in building it, okay? All that you need to do is go and do all the questions. And the moment you submit, underneath you'll find for each individual ward, the real-time responses that people are doing. You know, like on Iramo, these 11 issues, what is the rating? How many people have actually conducted the survey? What is the total number of voters in that particular ward? So we've got 4 different counters, one each for each of the wards. So that will say from each ward, how many people have actually attended the survey. And then the 4th one is the collective, or across Wyndham, how many people have attended that survey. Now, with this, you can judge how many people are really serious about voting and how many people really want to make a difference. So it's a very dynamic thing, and the moment you submit, you are able to find out what are the issues that are more important to a different person living in a different area, but within the same council. I hope you like it. Thank you.